Welcome to the VoiceMe Podcast, information and advice on the world of voiceover, presented by voiceme.co.za, the South African search directory for voice artists and related services. I'm Andrew Sutherland, founder of VoiceMe, and in this episode, the first of the Q&A series for 2023, I'm going to be answering 5 questions that you guys have sent me or that I've seen in the VO groups I'm part of over the past few weeks. This series is intended to give you answers or advice about anything VO related and get down into what you guys really want to know. This could be anything from performance, technical to marketing related, and I'll do my absolute best to answer them all in these episodes. If you have a question, please send it to podcast@voiceme.co.za, and even better, record it and send it as an audio file and I'll edit it into the podcast. So let's get going. Refilware asked, how does one get gigs? I'm struggling so much. Does my location matter? This is by far the most common question asked, and there's quite a bit to unpack here. You'll only get work if people and clients know who you are and what you can do. This comes down to marketing. Now, marketing comes in many forms, but the one that really matters is your relationship with the clients you connect with. If you can build that in a positive way and solve their problem, they are going to want to work with you. And there are 2 broad categories to marketing: active marketing and passive marketing. As someone starting out, or even for a veteran, you're going to want to have as many sources of work as possible. Actively marketing yourself means that you need to reach out and connect with as many potential clients or leads as you can and put yourself out there. You can use social media, search for people on LinkedIn and connect with them and offer your services. You can do a simple Google search for production companies, ad agencies, or broadcasters. You can use sites like BizCommunity to get lists of companies in various sectors. Then you need to get in touch with people at those companies directly and build the relationship. Cold calling them or even setting up Zoom meetings works well too. Essentially, putting in effort to make yourself known to the right people who are likely to hire you. This takes time, but ultimately results in a higher number of jobs because you will be solving a problem for those people, and if they know that you can deliver, they will trust you to do the job. Passive marketing is somewhat different. And this is where casting sites such as VoiceMe come in. Signing up and setting up a portfolio of demos where clients are already searching for voices allows you to be found by the clients, rather than you finding them. In some ways, this is similar to having an agent as well, in that clients will contact a talent agent and ask for recommendations, and if you fit the brief, you'll get put forward. Passive marketing has no guarantee of work, but it does take the pressure off of your active marketing and may result in work coming your way without you having to put much effort into it. You want to have as many sources of clients as you can. It's like diversifying your investment portfolio. The more places you have that can make you money, the more likely you are to get a good return. Your location may matter to some clients who require you to come in and record in a specific studio. But on the whole, the world is getting smaller and home studios are becoming much more common. If you can record broadcast quality audio at home, you should be able to get work no matter where you live. If you don't have a home studio, reach out to a pro studio near you and build a relationship with them for when work does come your way. Another question that came through from Refilware was, how does one calculate rates? I've been using my own rates that I came up with. Rates are always a complex and contentious issue, but using your own rates is absolutely fine. We are in a free market, and you have the right to charge whatever you feel is fair for your work. Not all jobs will be the same. A commercial rate for radio will be different to TV or online, which will be different to a corporate narration, which will be different to gaming or audiobooks. It'll also be different depending on which country or region it's used in. I did a whole episode on rates earlier this year, and as I said in that episode, the South African Rates Guidelines document is available to use as a guide to what fair market rates should be. This doesn't mean you have to charge them, but it's good practice to negotiate a fair rate with your client that's aligned to it, so you're not leaving money on the table. You could also use the GVAA rate guide or the Gravy for the Brain rate guide for international rates. Have a listen to episode 5 on understanding VO rates for more info. I'll also put a link to all 3 rates guides in the show notes. Next up, can a person register with as many talent agencies as possible, or are you limited? Technically, you can be represented by as many agencies as are willing to sign you on. Remember, a talent agent works for you. You don't work for the talent agent. However, most talent agents, in South Africa at least, will want to represent you exclusively. The reason for this is so that they can manage any potential conflicts of interest between clients that want to book you. For example, if you're currently voicing a campaign for Bank A and Bank B wants to use you, this may conflict with the agreement you have for Bank A, especially if it's for similar usage areas like commercials. If you have one agent, they would know this and handle it. But if you have more than one and the jobs come in via different agents, then no one is aware of the conflict and it may cause issues down the line. My advice is to choose one agent that will represent you for all your VO work. On the VoiceMe website, you can only link your profile with one agent. Even if you have more than one, pick the agent you want to represent you for VO work on the site. We specifically limited agent linking to one agent so that conflict of interest is avoided. Another popular question that came up a few times was, what is the best way to handle remote recording sessions? Do I need Source Connect or are there other options? There are plenty of pro audio apps out there that can link you with your clients or other studios to deliver broadcast quality sound. Source Connect is fairly industry standard, so most studios will have it. So you'll only need this if it's requested as a must-have. However, you can only use it with a monthly paid subscription, or if you buy it outright. So if you aren't regularly booking remote sessions that need it, it may be more cost-effective for you to pay a studio that already has it for their time to connect up with your client. The creators of Source Connect, Source Elements, have a free web-based version called Source Now, which is a great alternative. It runs in any Chrome-based browser and is very easy to set up and use. A side note though, most clients that do request Source Connect are talking about the paid version, not Source Now. So be aware of this and make sure you can fulfill their requirements when responding to job invites. Another free option is cleanfeed.net. This also works in your browser similar to Source Now. There is a paid option with additional features, but for simple VO work, you won't need any of them and the free version is absolutely fine. Other paid apps are SessionLink Pro and IPDTL. Both are similar in price to Source Connect, but the advantage here is that if your remote client or studio is already using it, you don't need to have your own paid account to link with them. They'll send you a web link to connect to their studio at no cost to you. Both of these apps also work in browser. And of course, you can always use Zoom, Teams, Skype, Google Meets, or any other voice conferencing app for free to dial your clients into the recording session. In this case, though, you'd need to be able to record your voice on your own system and send them files afterwards. But at least they'll be able to direct you live over the call. The audio going down the line to them wouldn't be of a high enough quality to use for most jobs. So just be sure that you are actually recording into your system for each take and marking the ones that they like for playback and delivery. And the last question for this episode is, how do I get paid renewals for ads that are being reused outside of the original usage period? This happens a lot. The first thing you should do is contact the person who originally booked you for the job. Let them know that the ad is reflighting and that the client needs to pay usage for it again. Send a quote for the renewal. Remember that the end client doesn't own your voice or performance of the ad. They only own the ad and content itself. They license the usage of your voice within it. Using it without notifying you is a breach of contract, and they either have to pay you or remove the ad from air. Sometimes your booking contact won't be aware of the reflighting either, And then the daisy chain of them contacting their client or the ad agency begins. Be prepared to follow up. It may take a while, but if you keep on them, you'll get an answer and the money you are owed. I'm also going to caveat all of this by saying it's also good practice to have the flighting dates on your quotes and invoices so that you can prove what usage period has been paid for by the client. The more detailed your documents are, the better. It'll definitely help you in the long run with any disputes that come up. And that's all for this week's episode. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and my support team at support@voiceme.co.za. Leave a comment here or give me a call on 0861 VoiceMe. That's 0861 864 2363 if you're in South Africa. And if you have a question for the podcast, please send it to podcast@voiceme.co.za and I'll include it in future episodes of this series. To sign up for a VoiceMe profile, register from the homepage at voiceme.co.za. I strongly believe a constructive social environment for our users, whether they be artists, clients, producers, or talent agents, is highly beneficial for our industry. Like, follow, and engage with VoiceMe and each other on @VoiceMeSA on all social networks. If you like this episode, please like, share, subscribe, turn on automatic downloads, or click the bell icon to get notified so you don't miss our next one. I'm Andrew Sutherland, and that's it from me here at VoiceMe for this week. Cheers for now.